Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey, and today I'd like to take a look at this little gem right here called Age of War. This is a small dice rolling game by Reiner Knizia. Shock of all shocks, yes. I'm actually reviewing a Reiner Knizia game, and let's see if the doctor knocked this one out of the park or if he swung and missed. Alright, so components-wise, Age of War is very simple, very streamlined. You simply get these cards and these dice in the box, of course, along with your set of rules. Now, the rules are very simple. The basic game is simply this. Each player is trying to conquer these castles in feudal Japan. And in order to capture these castles, you have to roll a combination of dice that are equal to whatever is shown on each row. Now, the caveat is that you can only conquer one row at a time. So if, perchance, you happen to roll 8 swords and a daimyo, you can't just say, okay, I'm done. Well, you have to first of all conquer this row with 4 swords. Second time, or whatever, come up here and do this one and do this one. There's no exact order that you have to conquer them in, but you have to simply do that one roll at a time. All right, so if you conquer a castle, it becomes yours. No worries. But if you conquer a castle, it becomes yours, but then it can be conquered from you if a person rolls this extra daimyo face here. So if you conquer it, you only have to conquer these things. But if somebody is trying to conquer it from you, they have to roll this plus that. All right? So it is a little bit more difficult to conquer a castle from someone who has already conquered it, but it can be done. Now, the reason that there are different colors and different sets, there are basically different clans that control these different castles to begin with. Some clans are singular. Okay, the green clan here, once you have it, you can flip it over and it is yours. That's the whole purpose of conquering an extra clan, and it's worth 3 points. You've locked it in for the end of the game. So if you conquer this one, you have it, but you cannot flip it over until you also conquer this one. And then once both are conquered, you would flip them over, and those are worth 4 points, and they are protected. They cannot be conquered from you anymore. All right, so how do you go about conquering these castles? Well, let me show you. So the way you go about conquering a castle is you have to roll these one at a time. Now, the game is a little bit friendly in that you can roll before you decide what castle you're going to try to conquer. So I'm going to try to conquer one of these 2 castles, and I roll this. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 swords, 2 daimyos, and 1 cavalry. Okay, so I see here that 4 swords, yeah, that's possible. So I'm going to go ahead and take my 4 swords and put them here. Now that I've chosen that this is the castle I'm going to conquer, now I am committed to conquering this castle. I cannot change my mind later in my turn and say that I want to try this one. I'm locked into this one, so we can just put that aside. Now I take the remainder of my dice, and now I'm looking for cavalry, archers, and 2 daimyos. All right, so I'm going to roll. And I've got a daimyo. I'm going to have to roll 2 of those. I'm going to go ahead and lock in one of them. All right, then I continue rolling. All right, I've got a cavalry, so I'm going to lock that one in. And you can continue rolling until you are not able to do it anymore. Okay, then I have another daimyo, so I'm going to lock that in. Now I need an archer. So I roll, and I did not get an archer, so I have to take one of my dice and put it aside. And then I have one last final throw, and I did not get it. So that entire turn, was fruitless because I did not roll everything that I needed to roll. All right, so then all the dice would come off. This would stay in the middle of the table. The dice would go to the next person. And then they would do the same thing. They would roll the dice, choose what castle they want to go after, and then roll the dice. All this continues until all of the castles are gone. When the last castle is conquered, you total your points, and whoever has the most points wins the game. Now, the way that you would score, for example, if this were the end of a two-player game, then every clan that you had completed and were protected scores the number of points that's on the back of the card. And then every castle that you conquered that is not a complete set scores what the number that is on the front of the castle. So in this two-player game, player A here would have scored 5, 8, 11, 12, 15 points, while player B here scored 1, 3, 7, 11, 14, 16 points. Okay? Now, just if this person would have been able to score this one as well, they would have flipped these over and scored 10 points for all of these instead of just 1, 2, 7. So it is advantageous sometimes to conquer not just the ones that are available in the center of the board, but also the ones that have already been conquered by other people in order to try to get those clan sets, because they can matter. They can make a big difference. So that is Age of War. Now, I love dice rolling games, so you kind of probably already had an idea. And if you've already listened to some of the other videos that have been coming out here recently, like Board Game Breakfast 100 that we did over at BGGCon, you'll know that I actually do really enjoy this game. Now, I'm not really a fan of chaotic, random element games that have only that to rely upon. But this one is actually pretty cool because it is a light, quick filler game that actually does have some thinkiness to it. It's not just all about the dice rolling. You do have to kind of hedge your bets, so to speak, on what you're going to roll and all that kind of stuff. But it is actually a pretty neat game that I enjoy a lot. It's one of those games where I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. I thought it was going to be just too light and fluffy. But it actually is pretty fun. There's a lot of back and forth between the different players when you're conquering one of their castles instead of going for one of the generic ones that have yet to be conquered. That produces a lot of tension, and it's fun tension. It's not like, how dare you, because it's just a light filler game, so there isn't a whole lot of time investment. There isn't a whole lot of stuff that go into this game, so you're not really expecting much on the outside of it. Not that you can downplay the game, because the person who has played before will possibly do better, but at the same time, you're just rolling dice. So you could be the best person at this game and lose just because the dice weren't rolling for you. So there is that. I do enjoy the game, though. It is one of my favorite filler games now that I've actually found it and I'm playing it now. It has a great theme to it. Of course, the theme is, you know, Elmered on. You can paste just about any theme on this and it would probably work as long as it has some type of conflict in it. But I like well-made dice. They're not just stickers. Dice with stickers on them. They're actually engraved dice so that they'll have some staying power. Doesn't matter how much you use it. The cards are all durable cardstock. A little bit of a linen finish there. Latin finish. Olay. If you have not yet checked this game out, you definitely need to go check it out. It is a cheap game. It is a light game. It is a fun game. A very neat little filler game from Reiner Knizia. Age of War. 2 thumbs up from me. Go check it out. See you on the flip side, folks.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.